We are now closer to getting a design for the prototype than ever before. The prototype, or experiment 1006, depending on how you like it, is a character who has been shrouded in mystery since the very first installment of the Poppy Playtime franchise, and it finally looks like we're well on our way to getting a full, official design when Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 launches later today, in fact. Even if we don't get a full, proper reveal, people have been theorising about what they could look like for years, and we do get a new Poppy Playtime game, so we all win. I've already looked through 30 possible fan-made prototype designs in one video, and 30 more in a part 2, but I was quickly able to find 15 more when I was making those videos, so let's take a look. Okay, starting off with a hand-drawn one. I like how this has a very clear gesture aesthetic, and it's been really strange over the last few months seeing the broad consensus become that yes, there are gesture elements to the prototype, and I believe that this all stems back to the Catnap Shrine in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, and for as monumental as an importance as that may end up having, I don't remember seeing a lot of people talking about it until recently. Again, this one, it's nightmarish, it's drawn very well, and, you know, I have a deep-seated respect for anyone that takes pen to paper and writes their design. Not to diss any digital artists, because they're usually absolutely fantastic, professional-grade designs, but something like this, when someone had a design that they just wanted to get out, that's fantastic, and that's good. There should be no barriers. If anyone has a fan-made design, they should be able to get it the hell out there, and that's exactly what they've done. I like it. The teeth are weird. Diving straight back into the YouTube clickbait thumbnail world, there are so many clay and plasticine channels that have been making just prototype designs for years. And as much as I hate to admit it, a design like this really grows on me. Was this used by like a channel called Game Tunes or something like that? With the big huggy head and the android arms? I like it. And again, that goes back to how this is one of the first ever prototype designs I'd ever seen. Just because all we had to go off at the time after Chapter 1 was of course Huggy as a character, so it would make sense that the prototype would be a test version of Huggy. And I love this. You know, even though it's been mauled almost by how much it's been overused and bastardized and used in all kind of different contexts and animations and things, and now it's laughable compared to what we do know about the prototype, I'll always have a special place in my heart for this one, and designs like this. Oh my god, this is probably the biggest prototype we've ever seen in perspective to think. I mean, what, that must be like 10 million feet high. That is insane. It's like something out of WALL-E, or like Pacific Rim. That is insane. The two eyes on it, and like, wow. Okay, I don't think the prototype is going to be this big, but Jesus Christ, what a design. And like all of the waste and like the poppy gas it's standing over and all around. There are a lot of great creative liberties taken with this one. Really, really very good. And thank you for watermarking. Another very strong one. This is a lot more robotic and yet also kind of not. Some of the fan designs that I've seen, they look like something out of Terminator, or like the head at least. They look very metallic, very skull-like, you know, very, very silver, often with red glowing eyes. And when it's done well, I don't mind. And this is a perfect example. I really do not mind a design like this. And, you know, it still has a kind of ribcage thing going on. So again, although it looks very robotic, it's also kind of not. Wow, okay, so this design is like a conglomeration of smiling critters. I keep calling them smiling friends. They're called smiling critters. I don't know why I keep getting it wrong in my head. I love this, and even when I see designs of the prototype being characterized as like this mass, this, like I say, conglomeration of other characters and their heads and body parts, people always run to Mummy Longlegs, Huggy, but no one includes the smiling critters. So when I see something like this, you know, someone's paid attention, someone had a lot of really great ideas in mind, and yeah, brilliant look, great design. This, I think, either looks very similar to a design I've used before, or may have used in a video before, and even if it is, it's much more high quality than it used to be. This does away with like the poppy colours altogether, and again, we don't know if there is going to be any red, blue, yellow on the prototype. This is just full-on metallic, full-on robotic, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It may end up being like that. This looks like it's out of the game. Isn't this from the Catnap Shrine? Is it? Because if it isn't, that's very, very Very well made. I think I want to include this one anyway, because I like the use of a person in it. You know, that doesn't always work, just having like a skeleton or remains in a very FNAF Afton style respect, but something like this, it works. And the Pugapillar look on this is insane. This is a very nice one. You know, like it's characterized in a strange way, but like there's no way that this, like, there's absolutely no reason why this couldn't work. I like how the eyes are slightly different to the other designs that we've seen. This is nice. This is a good one. This is, again, almost like a baseline, really. You know, it's been really strange seeing like that jester hat and that circus aesthetic creep its way into the prototype fan design sub-community. But it's cool. It's cool. And something like this, you know, the art style in general is just pleasant to look at. And the washed out colours and like the bruising and the shading on it. Yeah, cool. This is one that I was looking at earlier, and I love it. And I love it because of like the attention to detail. Like if you look on the right, you've got the normal and mad eyes. Now they change colour, and that's very cool. And there's a, as the design says, dude at back. There's a guy, and that's cool. Like this is awesome. This is almost like a Lego design for something, like almost Exoforce, and very yellow. You know, you don't see a lot of yellow in the other prototype designs, but in this one you do. This is nice, and this one is nice because it's fan art that includes the Doctor. Like, I know we all looked over the... I'm not going to say we all, but I know a lot of people looked over the Doctor character, Harley Sawyer, in Poppy Chapter 4, because the boss fight was underwhelming to a lot of people for a variety of reasons. But their connection to the prototype, it can't be understated, right? So it would make sense that they would have some kind of connection. And something like this, it's great because we may not see the Doctor and prototype interact ever in Chapter 5 or any future Poppy installment. It's only up to alternative universes and fan games and fan art to give us connections like that. So things like this are brilliant. Now, this may look like something out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but if you look again, you'll see that I'm a little right. But also, that there are these big containers on the back that contain Poppy gas, or Poppy gel life support tubes, as this says. A lot of things go into a prototype fan design, right? But something that I've only ever seen in this one picture is containers of Poppy gas. You know, it would make sense because Poppy gas did such a good job of like disorienting us in Poppy Chapter 3. It would make sense that the prototype would want to not capitalize on that, but draw inspiration from it and have some kind of Poppy gas container. And the exposed wires on this design, as it says with the text on the left, much more defined, so in a potential battle it could be easy to overcome them, like a potential weak spot. So yeah, a lot of thought, surprising amount of thought and depth in this design. And this one's a human. This one is a straight up human. Now there are plenty of opportunities, like my go-to are alternative universes and fan games for a design like this. Maybe it is that they are actually a toy, and if you break away at their face, there's like Poppy underneath it, or like robotic parts, like Mr. Light from that other chapter. And you know, maybe the prototype did just start as like a Poppy type thing, or like a Jester doll, and they tried to make it android or robot, and it did at one point look like this, or something like this. You know, these are the different kinds of approaches you've got to have when looking at all of these designs, because the variety is broad. This one is scary because, okay, firstly, thank you for watermarking, it saves me a bit of time, but also the human eye and the human side of the face and the inside of the human side of the face, it's like disconcerting, you know, it's jarring. It actually gets scarier the more you look at it. Yeah, actually, I don't know how much longer I want to look at this. Another one with a weird kind of Metroid Prime Chozo shape head, which I've seen a few times, not often, but a few times. And, you know, it's cool. It's a nice design. What can I say? It's a nice shape. There's colours on it. Cool. Ooh, that is a nice one. Very nice design on this one. Because I'm looking at it and, you know, this has the workings of the prototype. It could work. Again, the Jester aesthetic is a gamble, still, because the only things we know about the prototype are those spider legs and the hands, really, and the voice, which is hard to portray through a drawing. But something about this one, when I first saw it this morning, I was like, wow, this has all the makings of what it could look like, easily. We may be looking at the prototype right here, or something completely different. So the gesture aesthetic is a gamble. That's literally the slogan of today's video. But if it is included in Chapter 5 or any future Poppy chapter, it will probably look something like this. I'm not going to lie, probably look like something around what we're seeing. I had a strange way of wording that. But yeah, great design. And also I love how the legs are drawn in this one. I know with some designs they don't draw the legs because they are very difficult to draw. You know, you're in danger territory of making them look like an optical illusion where legs are like behind others. But yeah, this did it right. So very good. Very great art indeed. And that's our ensemble for today. What a fantastic selection that is. It's really, really very good. You know, even after we get an official prototype design, I will probably continue looking at fan designs. They will just be much, much harder to find. Because as of the recording of this video, and obviously the making of it, there is no official design. So if you look up the prototype on Google, there are only fan designs. And that won't always be the case. Whether it's this year or next year or the year after or 10 years from now, if we don't have an official prototype design, there will be nothing but fan work. And I just want to shine a light on a few designs which I thought were cool, before they might get buried on Google Images or replaced on the Poppy Wiki or in fan animations. And yeah, I'm just really impressed by like the extent of the artistry skills in this community. It's really something fantastic. So this has been Kirby's to Plays. Enjoy Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.